Evening, people, and welcome to BNR. It's Christmas Eve. I don't know what you're all doing because I don't know what a typical Christmas Eve evening looks like. But whatever you're doing, if you're fed up with the missus, fed up with the mother-in-law, then it's good. We've got an hour or so to discuss footy and discuss Liverpool and discuss the game. So keep us company for the next 40 minutes. So that'll be great. We've got Sarib with us. We've got Shahab with us. An intelligent looking Shahab. Not that you don't look intelligent anyway, Shahab, but more so with your
Yeah,
glasses on.
you know what it is. I wear contact lenses, and the one I have is just it's running out, so it's a glasses thing. I'll put it on now, and I was thinking, I don't know if I
Mm.
fancy it, but for me
Suits
to
you
be
though.
able to see YouTube physically, I need to have it on.
Sarib,
Yeah.
even if you put your glasses on, you won't look intelligent.
You know what? Like you said,
Good
don't
night.
judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover.
I like that. I like that. Or how's things? How do you normally spend this festive period then,
To be
Sarib?
honest, so I just work. If I'm not working, I'm at home doing nothing. To be honest, apart from that, my life's pretty boring. If Liverpool or football's not on, I do absolutely nothing. So I was literally just there on my phone in bed, watched the Wolves Chelsea game. Didn't do much today, to be honest. Christmas Eve as well. It's pretty cold outside. Just wanted to stay indoors, to be honest.
I'd actually probably sort of agree with him, and I actually see some evidence as well, Shah, because every time I talk about a show, anytime any sort of show is mentioned, Sarib is up for it. But it's a welcome for you, Shahab. It's been a while. How's things going? How's family? Everything good? And how do you normally spend these 4 or 5 days? Plenty of family time, I
Well,
guess.
so thanks for having me. Yeah,
Anytime.
it is. Thanks for having me. Thanks. I feel like I really need one. You know what? The festive time. I don't even know like what day of the week it is. That's how I feel like this festive time is. I have to check. Oh, it's Sunday today. Work wise, you get those 2 extra days off. I do go back on Wednesday, but it's just one of them where the year's coming to a close, and you put your feet up on the table and you just watch the football and then spend time with friends and family. That's all it is, man. And you wake up late as well. But alhamdulillah, it's all good. Been a busy week, isn't it? I mean, Sheffield United and Palace away. I still haven't seen you there yet, Asim, but yeah, now all good. Just looking
Where,
forward to the
where,
break.
where, where haven't you seen me at the game this
No,
year?
I was there. Yeah, I was at Sheffield United and Palace. I managed to get tickets for that great week.
Were
Two
you
late
were you at,
goals.
were you at Sheffield United? Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
was.
was at Sheffield United. Yeah, I
So,
took
Yeah.
my cousin as well. Yeah. So yeah, but here we are. But
Here we
just
are.
looking
Here we
forward
are.
to the.
this time of year. I don't know. I know we don't celebrate Christmas, but I just like the vibe around this time of the year. Like it's chilly. Like
It's
I live in
nice.
London, so I go to Oxford Street, yeah, and the
Mm.
lights are so nice. People are outside. It's busy. I really like it. I don't know what it is about it, but this time of year, you're warm, little hot chocolate
Yeah, I know what you
vibes.
mean.
Go outside. It's nice. It's very nice, but that's just me, I guess.
Mm.
Look who's here in the house, Sajad Iqbal, all the way from Pakistan. Maybe he can join us. Gene, you've got the link. If you're sat in your, what do you call it? You know, those rectangular things.
Half trampoline, half bed.
No, there's a word for it, man. Manji or something. I don't know. Maybe Gene can come
That's a
online and
strong
tell
lad.
us. But knowing him, he's probably in a 5-star hotel in Islamabad. Knowing that lad. Well, Gene, if you've got the link, come on. Let's see what you thought about since you're awake. That is a normal excuse. He's got a good one these days. It's 4 hours ahead. I think it's in Pakistan, so it must be around about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Normally when we go live at 9:30. So we're an hour early today, Gene. Maybe you can get up and brush that hair to a side and get online. And let us know what you thought about the game. So if you've got the link, you've got the link in the WhatsApp group, Gene. Come online for about 5-10 minutes. We'll have some Arsenal fans in the house as well today. I've been promised, and here is one of them. I know this lad. He does my head in on the WhatsApp groups. He says, "Rugby team keep waterlogging the pitch," and he's promised me to troll all night with these type of comments. But we'll give him 5 minutes later on in the show. I'm sure he can hang around, and we'll assess this point of Liverpool waterlogging the pitch, Liverpool playing the long ball, and all that sort of stuff. But we'll address that later on. I won't give him the pleasure right now. He's just come into the house. Team lineup, guys. Let's stick to the structure. Was it a team that picks itself for you, Sarib, this time round?
I don't think we really had a choice, to be honest. I think we looked at that performance against United. we looked at the performance against West Ham. I think most of the players that played in the West Ham game, the midfield, I think the midfield was exactly the same. And they played really well. Back four, no. They were Konate was rested. Alexander-Arnold was rested. He came on. Tsimikas played because we haven't really got a choice. And now we really don't have a choice. The attack was where I was a bit like, it's interesting because I expected Nunes to play. I didn't expect Luis Diaz to play. I do get why he did play because Diaz did come off the bench as well. But I really like the dynamic with the front three of Salah, Gakpo, and Nunes. I don't know why Klopp didn't go with that. That's what I expected. I was waiting for your little team announcement. I was praying, please. You said Gakpo starts. I was like, yeah, it's got to be Darwin Nunes off the left. But no, other than that, not really. Midfield was what I expected. Back four was what I expected. Just the attack was a bit.
Yeah, Shahab, I thought Curtis was an obvious choice. He played in midweek. He looked good. He scored his goals against West Ham. I think the control he brings to the midfield was evident even when Gravenberg came on. It showed why Curtis Jones started. But I did think, and I know hindsight, we say that a lot on this show, is a great thing, but I thought it was a Darwin Nunes type of game.
Yeah, definitely. I thought so as well. But I feel like when we have 2 or 3 games in 6 days, you kind of know what the last game of what the lineup will be. So if Nunes is playing 90, Gakpo scored a goal, goes off in 70. Just that rotation in the second half. I know we scored early in that game against West Ham. I kind of had a feeling that I was not surprised that ended up being the lineup, but it wasn't my lineup. I think 10 out of the 11 players was fine, but he had to start Nunes, man. He had to. I think Gakpo struggled for majority of the game for many reasons. I have my thing about where Gakpo plays for Liverpool, which I'm sure will come into the show, but Asim and Sarib, I agree with you, man. It had to be Nunes playing for me. I don't care if this guy doesn't score enough goals. In terms of evident threat, in terms of the link-up play, he has to play. But
I'm going to disagree with you. I thought Gakpo was pretty good. I think as soon as he went off, we lost complete control. We couldn't keep the ball in the attack for 5 passes together. I thought he was winning the ball back. He was linking up the play very, very well. And most of the chances that was creating was coming through Cody Gakpo. It's just that he wasn't in the box at the right time. Because I keep saying this, he's not a centre forward. He doesn't think like a centre forward. He's a left winger. I don't know why Klopp and Linders are trying to make this guy into a centre forward. He's not Firmino. He's never going to be Firmino. Yeah, he links play, he dribbles with the ball well, but he's a winger. I want to see him on the wing.
He's not a winger, Sarib.
He's a winger. I'm telling you, he's not a winger.
He's not a winger.
PSV came on the wing.
But no, because he's an inside forward. I can get that.
Why is he playing false 9 then?
Because I think when he came into the team, the management thought he can't go on the outside. If you think Diaz is struggling to go on the outside, Cody Gakpo has no chance to go on the outside.
We did see games last season where he could, Asim. United 7-0.
Oh, come on. I could take them on.
No, but I'm just saying that as one example. You haven't seen him there.
On a consistent basis, he's an inside forward. He's got goal threat. He's a better finisher than most of us. And even when he's come through the doors at Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp has been talking about his finishing. So maybe they wanted to keep him close to the centre box, central areas, penalty box for that shot. And you can see those areas. Let me land. You can see he's been instructed and coached to shoot more. And sometimes he goes over the top. But that's his role in the team. But for a guy to stay there, you have to hug the touchline at times. You have to hug him. And does he have the sort of... He's that kind of guy, even when he plays in midfield, he needs a couple of seconds to get going. Yeah. But can he drop a shoulder and move and shift? I don't think so. He's always coming in one way, generally speaking. And this is probably the case that we'll probably discuss with, Luis Diaz as well. But I don't think he's not a Bobby Firmino. He's got a great touch. Bobby Firmino, I'm not going to say Bobby Firmino like because that was out of this world. But does he connect the play? Does he have the intelligence or what's going around him on the halfway line? Salah, Mane running into those with those diagonal runs. He doesn't. But do you think, Shahad, that he's just a good squad player? And does his price in the transfer market reflect that?
It does feel like that sometimes. It does feel like that. But Asim, my question to you is, how come he always plays there under Holland and PSV? Because like you said, it takes a few seconds for him to take a turn and then get himself involved and then the overlap coming in. Like, I think him playing up front this season, he still scored goals. But let's be clear, the goals were against Leicester in the Carabao Cup, Europa League against Lask, West Ham against the second side. These sort of games he's been fine. Even against Wolves, I remember he had a poor game, but then he was just there at the right time and then taps in. For me, I feel like he's got the pace as well, Asim. He's not as quick as Diaz, cool. But I feel like with him, I hear what you're saying. Whether you think he could take that shot, take the man on and come in the inside, I think that's a question mark for sure.
But
But
the other reason why he doesn't play there is because I don't think his pressing, one, is not good enough. Jurgen Klopp yesterday was screaming at him because he doesn't cover shadow well enough. And he doesn't go the other way. Luis Diaz, on the ball, he has his critics, and rightly so. And we'll come to that later on. But Gori Gakpo doesn't go like going that way. And when he played, in that midfield role, when we set up as a 4-4-2 off the ball, he's playing in midfield. He doesn't want to go that way and be the edge of the centre box. Obviously, he's a bit more extreme and a bit more responsibility when he's playing in a double pivot. But on the wing, you need to go the other way. And he's a big frame. He's a big, does he have that in him where he can harass teams? When he plays in that role, he's more or less a second striker. He has got a good touch. He can play between the lines. But yesterday, Sarib, I don't think he played well. When he went off, when he went off,
yeah,
when
I was
he went
going to
off,
say Gabriel and Saliba.
This
Sarib,
one
when he went off,
what do you expect him to do? What do you expect? He's not even been at Liverpool for one season. He's not even had a 1 full season at Liverpool.
Sarib,
No,
we had a bad game.
That's a perspective. That's a different
that's a
issue.
long-term picture. Yeah,
he may welcome good, and you're just like Luis Diaz, Nunes, Gakpo, all these guys are probably in the same bracket. But I think what you're probably thinking why he played well is when he came off, Liverpool lost a target man in terms of his physicality. But Salah, he's good at receiving the ball to feet. But I think he had too many aerial challenges, and he just kept cutting back. And Arsenal fans probably thought Rice is taking control of the game. He didn't. Liverpool gave them the ascendancy by taking a target man off. And I was screaming out, why is Salah up top and Harvey Elliott on the left? And then when we changed it, it was too late, and it was even worse because we put Elliott up top rather than Salah on the Nunes up top. What I would have done is put Elliott on the right and Nunes and Salah in their normal positions. At least you got 2 out of 3 rather than Elliott out of position, more or less, and Salah up top where you're not receiving it to the ball. We've seen Salah play in a 4-2-3-1. We've seen him play up top at Newcastle, but he's got the supply role defenders. When he's getting and he wants a muscle, he's going to get out muscled by Saliba and Gabriel on any day. But look, let's go back to the start of the game. I thought Liverpool started sloppy. The atmosphere was absolutely brilliant, I thought, Shahab. The manager, whatever he did, whatever you thought about his comments early in the week, it worked. But the atmosphere was like the old days. The cop was going, mad. The fans came in early. The You Never Walk Alone was the You Never Walk Alone of yesteryears. And I thought Liverpool needed 5-10 minutes to react to that. But you have to give credit to Arsenal, the way they sort of how aggressive they were from the offset.
Absolutely. I think Arsenal deserve a lot of credit from the first 10-15 minutes. As you said, I think every team, when teams come to Anfield and they face that sort of animosity, they can't cope. But then 5 minutes, I think with the first 30 seconds, they had a corner where it was a lovely ball in. I think it was Saka put it in. That tempo is just making sure that you play to your own game, and Arsenal did exactly that. We didn't react. I think Konate got caught lacking, and then Alisson was, obviously unsure whether to go for it or not, but they were fantastic. In terms of the atmosphere, obviously, I think a lot will be made of it before the game. And, Asim, we've been going to the games for a while now, and we know it does feel a bit flat at Anfield for many reasons, which we won't go into, but I think Klopp knows that we had to be at top shape because this is a lot more dangerous side than Manchester United. And we gave it to them. And listen, Arsenal dealt with it well for the first 10-15 minutes. When Salah had that first chance that hit the side netting, I think that took time for Liverpool to then eventually grow into the game, get the goal to make it 1-1. But the atmosphere was good. I saw a little clip here from an Arsenal fan TV person that was saying that it did remind you like one of the older days when we used to play Arsenal, 2008 Champions League. I remember that one. It felt like that. It genuinely really did, and the quality in the show felt like that as well. But we delivered. It was nice. It was good. But Arsenal were definitely very good in the first 10-15. Odegaard, what a player. Just fantastic.
I think first 20-25 minutes, but Odegaard was brilliant. And sometimes you need that. I think that sort of player who is not scared to come, receive it on the half turn, receive it in the tight spaces, in that sort of atmosphere and crowd and noise, you need a player like that. And I thought Odegaard, in normal circumstances, he might have just sat in those half spaces and waited for the ball to come to him. But as you know, at Anfield, when they get the crowd get on top of you, the team gets on top of you, sometimes, it can be 35, 40 minutes and the game's gone. You're 2-0 down. But what I thought Odegaard did is come into deeper areas and settled Arsenal. And the way they sort of connect the ball with those combinations and triangles, it was a joy to see. And the physicality as well of Arsenal impressed me.
Yeah, look, people like fail to remember Odegaard was at Real Madrid at 16 years of age. So his quality is unmatched, and you can clearly see, like, maybe just behind Kevin De Bruyne, the best midfield in the Premier League. He's amazing to watch. And see, I do remember there's one picture that is rent-free in my head, and he was on trial with Liverpool, and then Real Madrid snapped him up. There's a picture of him, Coutinho, a few other players in there. But no, he's absolutely brilliant, Odegaard. And I know he's been criticised by Arsenal fans as well, and I've done it as well. He fails to turn up when Arsenal really need him to turn up. He's the captain of the club. But yesterday, he put on a show. For the majority of the game, he put on a show. And that whole midfield of Arsenal was just amazing. Him, Declan Rice. I know we'll get onto our midfield, but even Kai Havertz, I thought was very, very good. He's starting to grow into that left-centre midfield role, which I thought he'd play at Arsenal, and he's doing it quite well. But Odegaard is amazing. He's not afraid to take risks. He's not afraid to take the ball in a half turn. Play a risky ball forward. And what I really like about Arsenal's midfield players, they always try to make a forward pass, and that's where our midfield is too lethargic. They make too many sideward passes, too many long balls. They don't play with each other. Maybe that's down to the personnel we have. But yesterday, that Arsenal midfield put on a show, and it showcased why they are where they are in the league.
Well, maybe, and look, we've got a comment from Drunk Vigo. He's probably drunk as well today since it's Christmas Eve. I don't know if he drinks or not, but he says the disrespect Endo gets from our fan base is unbelievable. I think Drunk Vigo doesn't watch enough of our shows. I think Sarib is one of his biggest fans, and I think he wants him ahead of McAllister a few weeks ago. I think correct me if I'm wrong. So he doesn't get any disrespect here. Constructive criticism, you'll always get it on this channel. But for me, I don't think he's a first teamer at Liverpool. He's a decent squad player, 5th, 6th choice, especially if Thiago and Bajcetic are fit. But Shahab yesterday, he was unbelievable on and off the ball. He put a shift in, and it was that kind of game where you need a Hendo type of player where he's not scared to put his foot in. And, Sarib says he's a bit disappointed with Liverpool's midfield, but I thought, he was progressive at times as well yesterday.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably one of his best attributes, the way he can progressively move with the ball. I still feel like he needed time, or still does need time, to just get to the pace of things. But what a performance yesterday. Just wow. The tackles he was putting in. Just his like awareness of the game as well in that sort of game. It's not easy, especially when you're playing against Odegaard and Rice. But I think Declan Rice is a £100 million player. He's fantastic, but Endo, as he said, he did hold it on his own. My friend Ad says that, and he's spot on. And look, I think McAllister's been playing in that role is a lot different to how Endo plays that role. But I think with a bit of time, a bit of getting used to the Premier League, he'll get better. I do agree with you, Asim. I don't think he's he should be in our best starting 11. But also at the same time, if you've got someone naturally who can play as a deep lying 6, or someone who could do that dirty work compared to like McAllister, because we use him in a different way, we should probably play him. But he was great. I mean, for me, him and Curtis Jones had a good performance, and for me, after Ibu, he was my second best player of the match, man. What a performance from him.
But do you think it was a direct tactic from Arsenal, Shahab, that they came out aggressive, albeit Liverpool were a bit sloppy? I think Endo slipped in the middle of the park, and then they went forward with a cross from Saka where Alisson punched it across, and then after that event, I think it was Kanate who gave a sloppy free kick away, didn't he? Do you think Liverpool? I think for 5, 6, 10 minutes, Liverpool looked a bit nervous, sloppy, nervous.
A bit of that,
and a bit surprised as well the way Arsenal came at them.
Yeah, a bit of that, nervous, and then Arsenal just getting at them and showing them this is what we can do at Anfield, and they did it well. This is the quality that was on the pitch, and Arsenal showed that bit of quality, and they definitely deserved that bit of credit as well. It was a weird first 10 minutes for Liverpool, because you would have expected for us to be started like how Arsenal did, but we grew into it, and like I said, we deservedly got our goal. And Endo in the second half probably impressed me the most. He was also on a yellow card, so I was worried that, listen, he might take him off, but I didn't. Actually, I tell a lie. I was telling my friend that maybe we should take him off to avoid that red card. But he held his own. He did it really well. He did a good tactical foul in the first half to stop Arsenal towards the end, and just a great performance, man. And big up Wataru Endo, man. Hopefully he continues with it.
Yeah, 100%. Sarib, the way Arsenal came out was, I thought, you know what, after the first 10 minutes, we needed someone like Alexis McAllister, who's a bit more intelligent than Endo, who pops it off, who's smart, who just, if someone is aggressive as that for the first 5-10 minutes of Arsenal's start at Anfield, we needed someone, but you have to give credit. And look, you know, to be fair to him, we've been giving him a lot of stick recently as well. Look, maybe not you, but you can go and sort of reiterate the point that you've been saying for the last month or so, that he deserves his flowers. And honestly, I was really happy for him because he has not sort of experienced that atmosphere, that magnitude of game ever before. And he lived up to not my expectations, your expectations, most certainly.
Not even lived up to my expectations, exceeded my expectations. I did believe that Endo would be a squad player at Liverpool, and I think that's where he's been this season. But whenever he's been called upon, for the majority of the time, he's been really good. Maybe that first half against Crystal Palace wasn't great, but I think anyone's entitled to a bad game. I think every player in Europe has a bad game, and I think Wataru Endo is no different. But no, like you said yesterday, he was absolutely amazing, and I've been crying out for a long, long time. We need to stop this McAllister 6 experiment and push him further forward where his abilities are more evident, and put a natural number 6 in there. You'll say, but he's not a Fabinho type of 6. Yeah, he's not, but he's a number 6, and he will do a better job at the number 6 than a player that's not a number 6. We need to get the best out of our midfield, and our best midfield at this moment in time, if everyone's available, I'm not talking about Thiago, I'd play Endo, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, because you get the best out of McAllister, you will get the best out of Szoboszlai, and you have a number 6 playing in the number 6. My problem now is when he goes to the Asia Cup, and if we don't get an adequate replacement, we could be in serious trouble, because I don't think McAllister's back until January. Who's really going to fill that number 6 role? I don't think Gravenberch can do it. He might be able to, but I don't think he has the profile to do that. But no, I give Endo real credit for 16 million. Even myself, I came on the show in August. I was really upset, but I think that was more to do with the fact that Caicedo and Lavia were not signed.
Yeah.
And I always said, as a utility player, if he was alongside someone, it would have been a completely different scenario. But he's most definitely in the last couple of weeks definitely held his own. Since that Fulham goal, he's taken his game up to another level. And credit to the guy, man. And I will keep supporting him. He's such a nice guy, such a no-nonsense type of player.
Yeah, 100%. We don't duck and dive any comments on this channel. And Sully's just put something really serious. And look, I think I must address it. He says Liverpool fans are dropping racist comments on Saka's Instagram post because he slipped in a 50-50 challenge, which unfortunately resulted in a Shimikas injury. Classy fan base. Look, for me, those are not Liverpool fans. Those are idiots. Those are, racists. But what I would say about social media is, look, most of them will probably be behind a fake profile, a troll account, and they sometimes create these sort of accounts just to make the other fan base.
Okay, yep. Asim, you like me. Yep, keep going. This guy's Wi-Fi is worse than Liverpool's midfield at times. But guys, what always say, I don't think that kind of those people speak for Liverpool fans. Those are not Liverpool fans, like Asim says. I don't condone any racism, any kind of this nonsense. I hate that so much. I don't think Saka was deliberately trying to injure Kostas Tsimikas. It's just unfortunate. It was a 50-50 challenge for me. Yeah, it might have been a foul. It might have been a free kick or wherever it is. But to go underneath someone's Instagram post up and make racist remarks is an absolute disgrace. And it's why we've been speaking about BLM for the last couple of years. Yeah, it is making a difference. It might not be making the difference that we all expected it to. But we have to keep pushing things like this because things like this need to stop. It's an absolute disgrace, honestly. The fact that fans are going under rivals post and putting racist stuff. It's an absolute joke, Shahab. Honestly, they don't speak for us fans. They don't speak for us because I don't agree with none of this nonsense. It needs to end. It needs to stop very, very soon. But the issue is it's going to carry on and on and on unless something happens, like fines or something needs to change, Shahab.
Yeah, listen, you said everything that you needed to say. Asim is back now. Asim, Sarib just nailed everything regarding the Instagram post, or any racist comments, honestly, on the Bukayo Saka's one. As I said, listen, they're not Liverpool fans. They're all troll accounts hiding behind the screen, behind a fake footballer or a black screen, and everything that Sarib just said is absolutely unacceptable. And listen, it's not the first time that's ever happened to him. And listen, as I said, there's no room for racism, and they're not Liverpool fans. And
Yeah,
that's all we can
100%.
say, man.
100%. Look, I thought I'd address it because I didn't want Sully to think we're hiding behind the fact that there are some comments there. But you do get it. You see on Instagram, you see on Twitter, and this is some of the reasons why footballers, some of them, stay away from social media, or even sort of normal people like ourselves. But I thought Liverpool after the first 10 minutes, maybe I shouldn't say this, but was it a bit of a blessing in disguise, Shahab, that Liverpool went one down, where they thought, you know what, fuck it, let's go for this? And was it a bit of a throwback? And maybe we can discuss Sully's comment about Liverpool's rugby type of nature, long ball, FC. Was it a throwback to Liverpool's old Klopp style, where he thought maybe we didn't have like a McAllister in the team, a Thiago in the team, where we can't compete in the middle of the park in terms of pure triangles, combinations wise, where we normally see of someone like Thiago or McAllister more recently, where our best bet was to get the ground behind us and really go for them. And maybe we saw more of that after the second half. And I think the manager described it as we shattered Arsenal.
Well, it just seemed like that sort of thing this season, doesn't it? Like, I think we've won 7 games from behind this season. I might be wrong, but I don't really like.
We're always behind. Well, this is
the problem. We're always behind and we win, or we win most of the time at least. Yeah, blessing in disguise in a way. Yeah, probably with the way that the match went out. But as I said, I think it just took us time to going into the game, and we managed to get through it pretty well. Look, I think Trent going back in that quarterback sort of role, which also is another reason, to see why Liverpool upped the gear in another way. I've seen you talk about a lot, Asim, as well on Twitter. When Trent moves into that DM role or the back three always in the middle, and that pass to Salah showed it as well. And you're talking about long balls. I mean, if we play long balls, then I'd love to see how many duels Saliba and Gabriel won, because if we really were doing that, then A, Gakpo struggled, and B, Arsenal must have won a lot of duels. It's about the direct diagonal ball that we play, and we've always done that, whether that's Van Dijk or Trent Alexander-Arnold. It always comes into fruition for Liverpool. So that's the one thing, but I'm sure we'll come on to that later, and Asim, you'll rip your friend Suleiman in a second. But yeah, no, like I said, the crowd were always up for it, and it did feel like a Champions League like sort of thing. We had to be, because of the class that Arsenal had, and we dealt with it well. So, but I really don't want us to keep going behind, and against Burnley, I definitely don't want that.
I think we're better when we're chasing the game. I don't know what it is about us. Like we've come on the show a lot of times, Asim. I know you've brought it up, Avi, Cheen as well. We've all brought it up to each other, saying we start games really, really poor. And what can we do?
Why is that, Sarib?
I don't know.
Mentality thing. Do we, when we go 1-0 down and we start chasing games, do we have a bit more clarity?
I don't know. I said it was complacency, but I don't even think it's complacency. I think there's a hint of that, because there's games where we are playing the opponent and we think we're better, like Luton Town. I think
you say that a complacency is a strong word, because you're not only accusing the players, you're accusing the manager and the coaching staff as well, sending their troops out.
Maybe it's the wrong word. Maybe it's the wrong word to use, but I don't know. I'm trying to find out what the area of improvement there is, but we can't seem to find it, because this has been a problem since August. We've been behind, maybe not at home as much, because I know we were behind against Bournemouth. I think that's the only time we were behind at home, if I'm not mistaken. But the away games, especially Wolves, I'm talking about Luton, Brighton, games like this, like we should not be going 1-0 down against these teams. We're trying to win the league title. We need to start games quick and blow these teams away, because we are, like, as much as anyone says no and we're not good enough to win the league, we are 1 point off the top of the league. We should be beating these teams. Let's be honest. We have 6 draws this season. I think it's just behind Forest, top of my head. I can't remember exactly, but it's one of the teams that are there. It shows you we pick up points from losing positions quite a lot. And I think after the 75th minute, I think we pick up the most. I think it's 14 goals or 14 points gained from losing positions or something like that. So this team does have the mentality to not lose games. It's just about how do we change that from going behind to getting eventually getting those 3 points, making those draws into wins.
Yeah. You were talking about the duels, Shahab. I had a quick check. Liverpool won 68 duels. Arsenal won 47 duels. And I thought I think it was you who touched on Trent, or was it Sarib? I think Liverpool, once they went 1-0 down, the Liverpool sort of ideology, sort of thinking was that Arsenal are coming at us. They're 1-0 up, their tails are up. But I think it took someone like Trent to start getting on the ball. And how he got on the ball is he started coming and appearing in those central defensive positions where the Kanate and Van Dijk would split. So he'd be basically a third centre back. And he's basically telling Arsenal, if you really want to come really high and leave a gaping hole in midfield, I'll do that as well. If you get too close, I'll pass it in midfield and we can turn around your team and go the other way really quickly. But I think if you stay off him, like Arsenal gave him a bit more time, and Gabriel Jesus was a bit, in between, who has to either get too close or, leave his marker, you're leaving one of probably the best passers in world football with, an extra a second or two. And some of the passes that Trent was pulling off yesterday, honestly, it doesn't surprise us as a fan base, but even some Arsenal fans, Sully's in the building, he admitted, and many times he's admitted that Trent's passing, long-range passing, and this is why I think it's a bit unfair calling Liverpool a rugby team or long-range FC, that if you had a creator, if you had a dictator who could do that from 80, 70, 80 yards, then any team would cry out for Trent.
No, absolutely, you're spot on, and you just nailed it as it is. That pass for the goal, the perfect position, it's unbelievable for someone of the caliber of Trent Alexander-Arnold to continue doing this season after season, week after week. As I said, this is a supposed right back, meant to be doing this every single week, and you've run out of words for some of the things that Trent does on a football pitch offensively. And as you said, you just nailed it there. Obviously, the 67 duels to 47, I think you said. Honestly, not much to really add, but talk about rugby teams, some rugby tackles from Bukayo Saka, which we have to go into later. Which
one?
There was two, isn't there? One wiping out. Well, to be fair, I think it was a bit unlucky, Simicast in the clock one. And then when he slipped with the waterlogged pitch that Arsenal have been talking about on Twitter.
I can confirm, Shahab, all Anfield got watered at second half. Not just Anfield Road. It was really the whole pitch.
Because I think they forget that there was 22 players on the pitch, not just 11. There was 22 players on the pitch. That pitch was the same for both teams. Like, they do understand that just because if we overwatered it, it will make us slip. It's not like we have some magic shoes on or something like that. It's not going to stop us from slipping. Silly excuse, man. Silly excuse. Just accept it's a draw.
You know what it is? I think with some, I think it's the online fans here. They're mad. They're just crazy, man. If it's not a decision that's gone against their way, which they can't talk about decision, we have to go and talk about that handball, by the way.
Oh, brilliant segue to the next point.
Let's do it. Let's talk about the handball.
Handball. You tell me why we weren't awarded a penalty yesterday.
I don't know.
In the ground, if I'm honest, because he was the other side and I couldn't see his arm. I didn't. As you know, you don't get a replay at Anfield. I saw it a couple hours later, but I was flabbergasted, annoyed, frustrated, angry. And apparently VAR didn't even check it. You tell me why VAR didn't check that penalty claim.
Look, I'm going to show you this. Please, in what world is that not handball? Let's see if you can see that.
We might be getting done for copyright here, but it's all right.
Let's not show it.
No, it's all right. I'll go for it. I'm sure the headquarters are YouTube.
Let me see if I can get it on full screen. Let's have a look.
Look at this one.
How is that not handball? His hand he slipped, but his hand went like this to the ball. It went towards the ball, not away from the ball. How is that not handball? How is that not handball? I don't know how fans are debating this. Gary Neville really pissed me off on commentary.
Yeah, he was horrible.
I don't think it's handball. I think he slipped the Odegaard. That's when he's gonna let him off there.
He's gone.
That is a handball. That is a clear handball. I don't know what you're literally watching.
Gary Neville says it's not handball.
He said, because you're slipping, that was the benefit of the doubt, but it's
nonsense. Salah turned him. He got turned.
Yeah.
He got turned. Let's be honest. Yeah, he might have fallen. I don't know, but the main thing is Salah turned. If he doesn't handball that, Salah might have just nipped it ahead of him. So look, I think even the most,
I think the Arsenal fans even said themselves.
The hardcore Arsenal fans.
Look at his hand. Look at his hand. You're telling me that's not handball?
Sorry, there's LeBron James in the building, man. That's what it is.
I'm tired of being corrupted against these North London clubs. I'm tired of it. End it now.
Yeah, well, look, I think even like I said, even the most hardcore Arsenal fans would agree that they got away with one more. Look, we grew into the game after at 1-1. I was speaking to one of my uncles at halftime. He said, "Look, Arsenal are a really good team. He'd take a draw," and it felt like Shahab that Liverpool have put a lot into it, even though Arsenal were, getting about us really, really well. And I thought they must drop off. They can't keep this intensity for another, 45. But Liverpool, in a way, surprised me the way they came out. And you know what? I thought, wow, you have to give, sort of Jurgen Klopp credit. After that sort of half from Arsenal, Liverpool, albeit grew into it and probably finished the better side. But second half, even the way we set up, we put Trent right up on Zinchenko the moment their keeper had it. And we said, if you're good enough to beat us, and we'll hold our hands up on fair play. But the amount of times we robbed them, but again, it's that lack of composure, that lack of last pass. It's a bit of a common theme for the last 2-3 weeks that when we're in, we just don't get it right at the moment.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. I did notice that from Trent, but I think Zinchenko was just having that sort of game on and off the ball, so it was a good thing. I don't think Arsenal played well second half, but you could still feel like they had that presence to do something. I did feel it. I felt like Martinelli probably let them down. He had a really poor game, didn't he? And I think Havertz probably should have gone off for Trossard, if anything, for the free from the role. But there was still a threat, as you said. Saliba, Gabriel, Rice, fantastic players, and they were fantastic for at least 85 minutes of that match. I think the Gomez deserves a shout out. Where he's playing as a fullback right now, so close to getting a goal. I think I would have exploded if that went in. Just that as well. I don't know whether he's going to be the man for the left back role in the next month. I'm really worried about that, to be honest. I think Jones was another fantastic game from him. I think he's just got better at releasing the ball, I think. I think that was a big problem with him last year or the last 2 years, where he holds on the ball too much. He played in a defensive type of role for England this summer, and he's done wonders. I thought he was fantastic. I thought the intensity was there. Salah, again, just the threat he had. Shame about Luis Diaz's performance, I think. But the killer pass, as you said, when we've got them, it wasn't good enough from us in the end. And the dreaded picture and the dreaded video that I've been watching all day of Trent missing on that counter attack, where it's 4v1, 5v1, is absolutely killing me. I'm sorry, boys, it's killing me.
I feel like that picture is going to be like one of those Rodri handballs, that Gerrard slip, where we're going to look back at the end of the season.
File it under there.
That cost us the league title. That is one of those things that if that we'd have that trophy, but I hope not. Let's hope not.
Klopp and the whole bench ended up on the floor, and I think the whole of Anfield, just like followed him on the floor. It was one of their moments that, what the funny thing was, the ball stayed in play, and we committed about 10 million players forward. He thought, bloody hell, go back and defend this because they might get in. But Shahab mentioned Diaz, Sarib, and I want to get into this super chat from Ravinder Singh. Thank you very much for sending that, mate. Love Brothers, great show. Just landed. I wanted to say Diaz and Nunes nowhere good enough for us to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Not the best characters either. We've touched on Nunes a lot this season, Sarib. But let's stay with Diaz at the moment in terms of his performance yesterday in isolation.
Yeah, it just doesn't look the player that we signed in that January 22. He just looks an absolute shadow of that player that was number 23, Luis Diaz. Every time he got the ball, he was juggling with the ball. That performance when he came on second half against Villarreal, I remember, just completely took the game by the scruff of the neck. That player's a shadow now. I don't know what happened to him. Is it the injury? Is it his dad? The dad situation, the family problems he's had, but I think it's a mixture of all different things. And like you said, he doesn't go on the outside as much. He's trying to be this inside forward. He's trying to replicate Sadio Mane. He's just not that type of player. He doesn't have the body. His style of play is completely different. I don't know what's wrong with him. Something is not right. And I think we can't keep allowing this to happen. There has to be a point where we've given this guy, he's been back since April now. He's been playing Liverpool's first team. And I'll be honest with you, he's had a whole pre-season now. He's been at the club long enough that, yeah, he might have had a full season at Liverpool by justice, but he's been in long enough. He's played enough matches, and he's just not cutting it at the moment. Maybe he needs time out the team. I don't know. But yesterday, honestly, he did nothing. He was a ghost on the pitch. I can't remember him beating a man. I can't remember him taking a shot. I can't remember him making a pass in the box. I can't remember him doing anything. And that's a problem because Luis Diaz was doing that last season. and the season before that.
Shahab,
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to know what you think.
I think it's hard to disagree with Sarib. I still believe in him though. That's the maddest thing. I think tactically, you probably best to say this, Asim. I do think that left hand side has been an issue, but it was an issue even when Robertson was there. Like, I just don't think it clicked really well. And the fact that Tsimikas wasn't as high as Robertson is another thing. His main asset was the way that he takes on players and that final ball. I haven't seen that once this season. I'll be honest. I just haven't. I don't know what it is. Thomas Partey, man, can't believe he did that to him.
It's a shame.
It's really difficult, but I feel for him. I feel for him because sometimes as a footballer, you go through those moments. You have that confidence issue.
Yeah.
You know, you had that thing with his dad.
Yeah.
I think he just has to go through that phase and then get that bit of luck and fortune. He got that against Luton, but nothing since then. And but in a tactical point of view, I'm not too sure either because I don't think he's looked well with either of the two left backs.
I think he's missing. I think he is missing Robbo. Robbo is a lot more dynamic than Tsimikas. He gets on the outside more, which he doesn't have to sort of pass it to him, but it's sort of, it's a distraction for either the right side of midfielder or the fullback if you're doubling up on him. But even on the underlap, it keeps Diaz, holding width. And we've talked about it when he came. He was more of a touchline winger. We were trying to transition him into a more inside forward, get that output. Just like Mane was doing at the, in his pomp at Liverpool. And he made that type of run and even scored a goal. I think I even tweeted it out a couple of weeks ago where he popped it off to the right wing. I think it was Salah who crossed it in or Szoboszlai, and he came in, arrived into the box, and it was a Mane type of goal, arriving in the box late on with not a scruffy header, but getting into the right place in the right time. Even earlier on this season, he made a Mane type of run where Mane, if you came up against a Kyle Walker, and he made that from outside to in across the fullback. It was a Salah ball at Chelsea, and it was a brilliant finish. Those are the type of runs that we saw Sadio make for years at Liverpool. And I thought this is maybe the development, the next phase of Luis Diaz. But we can't underestimate his situation with his father. Also, these knee injuries, and he's got another one. Hopefully, it's an impact injury rather than something to do with his ligaments again.
Crying on the bench, if I'm not mistaken. I saw.
Yeah.
I want this guy to do so well, but we also need to look at the bigger picture. I think he's at the moment. We need, are we going to be ruthless like we were with Karius and go in January and go pick up another?
I think Sarib is just at times he's just too eager.
Yeah, I know. But I think that's because he wants to go and do well. Because I think he knows he's not doing well. I think he knows he's having problems. I think he just wants to put that behind him. But he just needs that little break. And I thought that would be the Luton game, but it just hasn't. Like Shahab said, it just hasn't come to fruition for him. It's a shame.
At one stage at the early, I think Ben White was really tight on him, and he needed, when he was really running just to get in front of Ben White. What you just need to do is, I'm not a professional footballer, but I did play the game. But you sometimes you just stay still, hold the ball, and Jurgen Klopp went crazy at him. Said, look, hold the ball and then move. You don't have to move on the half turn all the time and open the body, show the ball too much. But look, he seemed to be a lot more skillful when he came as well. I've seen some, tweets about him having a more of a free role with Colombia. He hasn't lost it. He's a different player, but he has to understand that he's not the main guy at Liverpool. The main guys at Liverpool are probably on the right hand side, and in Salah and Trent and these sort of guys. But to be a part of this team, you still need to perform. You might not be the be all end all of this team, and where everything is going through you. You have to earn that right for years, and that's what Sadio and Salah did. They didn't come and everything was put in place for them. They became cogs in the machine and then became superstars, which we saw after a couple of years. But look, I hope he gets it. I'm probably going to judge him at the end of the season, see where he's at. But he needs a big season, a second half of the season. That goes without saying.
I don't know what you can go as well. I don't know what we're going to do if this continues, because I do believe that if they're all fit and firing, we do have the best 5 attackers in the league. Yeah, they're not firing at the moment, but I think we have to be ruthless. I think Darwin Núñez gets a lot of criticism because of his finishing ability, the price tag he came for. I think we need to keep consistency for Luis Diaz, but also there's context because of his injury. Thank you, by the way, for the comment. His father situation. But I just want to see the old Luis Diaz, because I don't know if you guys remember that game. I did mention it about 5 minutes ago, the Villarreal game where he just came off the bench, completely changed the game. We're 2-0 down and he just scores that header, making those runs into the box. And like, I remember when he first came to Liverpool, he was like he done it to Reece James, I think. He was on the touchline. He just flicked. The ball came into him, just flicked over his head, and he just ran behind him, just spun around. I don't see that from Luis Diaz anymore, and I do agree with you. He does need some time, and he's had it rough. Yeah, absolutely. But when is the penny going to drop for him? And I think as football fans, we are very fickle, and we are very reactionary, and we want to see the best of players very, very quickly. And I think we're saying we're in a title race, and we need to win a title. But I do want him to do well.
Sarib, he used to carry the ball. I think we saw it. I know Martinelli had a bad game, but in the few instances that he was good, he carried Arsenal, 20, 30, sort of yards up the pitch. And Diaz used to do that. He probably didn't used to go on the outside a lot, but through the middle of the pitch. I can remember maybe a semi-final or final against Chelsea at Wembley.
I think he was man of the match.
He was brilliant. And look, he was decent for us at the start of the season, and then we know what problems he had. But like I said, like Atik says, Diaz needs some time. He's had it rough recently. And maybe we sometimes forget, Sarib, where this team is. And I know I put it in the title today that if someone said to us that a day before Christmas that we're going to be 1 point ahead behind the leaders, we would, bet your hand off.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Especially with the season that we've had. So a bit of perspective, a bit of patience is needed, even though in this today's world it's very, very difficult. Yeah. But I want to touch on a few of the players who had a blinder. I thought all 4 centre-backs were brilliant. We'll stick with Liverpool centre-backs. Van Dijk was Van Dijk. We've talked about him, and we'll keep on talking about him. But Kanate, I thought, was absolutely brilliant. Maybe at fault for the first goal, if I'm really being critical. But after the first 5, he was the Ibu that we have seen. It was the Champions League final, Ibu, wasn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about that. I just wish his body allows him to play enough games in a row at this current state, and we need that at the moment. Ibu, yes, he was fantastic. He was my man of the match, no doubt about that. I think the way he locked up Martinelli was special. The one at the end of the second half where Martinelli was through. Listen, he's a fantastic player, no doubt about that, and he's got that pace. Judges it absolutely perfectly. That was one of my favorite tackles, probably up there with watching a Liverpool defender. He was absolutely fantastic. It was a Champions League final-ish performance from him, which was probably one of his best ones. That's how highly I have to say how good Konate was. He was my man of the match. He was absolutely fantastic, and inshallah, he just stays fit as long as he can.
I just want to address this comment before, because this really pisses me off. It really gets my nerves.
Which one?
Jono, he wrote, Saliba is really good, but bloody hell, the fawning over him is unbelievable. His performances, those are normal Van Dijk performances. Now, this comment, I addressed this comment on my Twitter, so this really pisses me off, because we Liverpool fans do this a lot. We're very quick to call our players the best in the world, we're the best in this position, give our flowers to it. But when it comes down to giving players their flowers, we don't do it. We're like, oh no, our players are still better. Like, I get that. The eyes are on.
Van Dijk is better than Saliba.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. But what he's saying is, they're all fawning over him. They were doing the same thing to Virgil van Dijk. This is where I keep consistent, because when Van Dijk first came to Liverpool, all the media was on him, and we was giving him credit, and no one was saying anything to us. I don't know why we're like this, because we want everything our way, but when it goes against us, it's wrong. It really pisses me off, stuff like this, because he's a really, really good centre back. No, I'm being honest with you.
I get you. I agree. He's a brilliant player.
It really, really annoys me. Yeah, there might be normal Virgil van Dijk performances, but those performances when Van Dijk first came to Liverpool not looked as normal. They looked at really, really good. In the next 2 years, that Saliba performance yesterday is going to be a norm, because he was going to be one of the best defenders we're ever going to see. And you can clip that right now. He is unbelievable. To come to Anfield and play like that. I know you said we're not going to talk about Arsenal centre-backs, but that comment really pisses me off. To come to Anfield and be man of the match when you got Virgil van Dijk at centre-back is ridiculous. Yeah, and then maybe that's down to him, the eyes being on him and all this crap. But that performance, I have not seen a opposition defender come to Anfield and dominate like that. It was ridiculous. And what a centre-back. He's the heir to Virgil van Dijk, by the way. That is baby Virgil van Dijk.
Sorry, so Saliba's great, but Gabriel played better. Could you not agree on that one?
No, he didn't. What? Because he scored a goal? No.
He played better.
I'm not going to say this because he's coming for Zinchenko. But Saliba did not put a foot wrong. He looked so good on the ball.
Bro, he's top. Like, he's world class, nearly world class, at least. Like, he's definitely the
Anfield. What What opposition player gets man of the match?
He shouldn't be man of the match. He should have been someone. It should have been Ibu or Odegaard.
Plenty of defenders have got a man of the match.
The one that I can remember top one was Joachim Andersen. That's because he scored a goal. Saliba did that without scoring a goal, getting assist. He just literally looked. He made Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, and majority of the game, Mo Salah looked like a piece of cake. Just like
but Mo Salah, like I touched on in the early part of the show, that every time he got the ball, it was like an aerial battle. Salah's not going to win an aerial battle with. He'll probably win one with Zinchenko, but not Gabriel and Saliba. But if he's on the touchline, then I'd like to see Saliba, go like Konate does. Obviously, he's a middle centre back. He's not going to go out there because Gabriel does that. Well, Gabriel and Saliba. Look, I even said it to one of my mates who was walking out of the stadium with that. I was really low, and I felt the intensity of the match, and I thought of Saliba, even the way he looks, his physicality, his posture, his thighs, his legs, his calves are massive, and he's broad and he's big, and he's got a presence about him on the pitch where he just sort of illustrates so much calmness to the team and to the game as well. Generally speaking, look,
I've seen him
I absolutely. This is the first time I've proper seen him. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans will tell you that he's their main centre-back in terms of if he's not there, they lose that calmness, they lose that Rolls Royce. But he's the guy who plays into midfield. Yeah. Gabriel is more of a Konate type, and he's their Rolls Royce. And look, he's 22, let's be honest. Yeah, he's a brilliant centre-back. But Konate, I thought, was unbelievable. I think Konate, with all due respect, has got more of a difficult job than Saliba yesterday in isolation. Why? Because he's got his right back inverting and he has to go out and not just leave Jesus, who's sometimes spending a bit of time on the left-hand side, but also get close and touch tight to, Martinelli. And these are 50-50 challenges. Like if he doesn't win Shahab, Arsenal are in. And we saw it in the Champions League, even though we lost that, where he was covering Trent that night with Vinicius Junior. But yesterday against Martinelli, and this is the reason why I thought Martinelli got subbed off, because he had no impact.
Yeah, as you said, that's the performance, that the level that Konate put in. Listen, all four centre backs were good. I know you said we're going to refocus on the Liverpool ones, but as I was saying, like the level that Konate was playing on there, the way that he perfectly timed all his tackles as well, especially from that side where Martinelli was, he just got there at the top level. Saliba, for me, he is going to, listen, world class or not, he is that top player. Like the way that he played and showed no fear. I think the clip at the end where he comfortably just got it out of that side. Listen, that's a player that's going to be world class in years to come. If we're doing this comparison thing, which I'm pretty bored about, I'm not onto this comparison thing, then obviously let's not sugarcoat it. Van Dijk is number one, and for me, he played better as well. So, but look, as I said, I think Konate was my man of the match. He was absolutely fantastic. I think if we want to be really critical, you could blame him for the goal, but even then, Alisson comes and Alisson comes and then obviously didn't realize whether he should or not. Look, it could have been offside on another day, but someone's leg was played on. I think it was Gakpo. And yeah, Konate was
one time as well. Konate, I think it was miscommunication. I think there was second half when the ball they pushed the ball forward, and I think Alisson and Konate got in each other's way. Yeah, if I remember top of my head, I think Alisson wanted to get the ball, but Konate just headed, and he didn't really make a good header. But there's one more comment. I'll get onto Konate in a second. I'll ask you as well, Asim.
Which one?
John has put another comment up. To be fair, Sarib has been saying for months that Arsenal are better than Liverpool, so not shocked he's sticking up for Arsenal players. I'm going to put it very simply for you because your IQ level is really low. Who is first and who is second? Doesn't matter. Carry on. Ibu Konate was really good yesterday. Really, really good. But yeah, I think the first goal was his fault. And I did tweet, I think Konate was the best player on the pitch. And like you said, I think he did have more to do because Arsenal are more dangerous than Liverpool. But on the other end of the sword, William Saliba was really good to come to Anfield and do that in that atmosphere. I don't think he didn't play at Anfield last season. It was quite clearly to see why Saliba is so important to them. And yeah, I know this is a Liverpool show, but I give players credit when credit's due. Saliba and Konate, the future of France, just close the door. Hand them the World Cup before it begins, man. Hand it to
them. Right, there was another super chat from Ravinda. I should go to it before we move on. He asks if I can get it up. I don't know why it's not coming up on the screen. Is it coming up on your screen?
Bad. I think you're just stuck. You're just stuck doing this.
Yeah, can't hear you too well.
Are we on now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I mean, you look like you're in the 1970s, but I think it's
Yeah.
okay. It's better than before.
Yeah. He asks, did you see Klopp with Rice at the end? I feel this guy could have helped us win the league. Who would you sign to help us step up? Centre forward, DM, centre back, and Ivan Toney. Who wants to take that?
Sharp one. I'll let you have this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, okay. Centre back, definitely. I feel like we need one. I don't. Think of names. Why you put me on the spot, Ravinder? I can't give you a name, but I think centre back. Centre forward. No, I don't think we need a centre forward because I would stick by Nunes. And I'm not saying that he isn't that like he's done well enough. He's done well enough, but obviously not scored an amount of goals. Listen, he's not scored a goal in 2 months. That's bad. But I feel like with Nunes, it's hard because we hear the same thing over and over again. But you feel like the time will come. I still see like flashes of him when he's about to shoot the ball, when he's running towards to shoot the ball. I heard Daniel Sturridge put a segment on this. That's where he can obviously improve. I have that faith in Darwin Núñez. If we need an attacker, maybe it'll be someone who could play on the flanks, an inside forward, or also someone who could play up top. But I think our main priority at this current moment is probably getting a centre back or DM in first, and then obviously try to get a winger slash striker in a way who could play like someone similar to like Jota who could do both roles.
You don't say left back as well, no, Shahab, because we ain't got no left backs available at the moment. I think
it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you don't know when Robbo's back. If he's back in mid-Jan, then maybe not. I am worried about it. I am worried about Gomez playing left back. He played well yesterday, but I also watched him play against Sheffield United, the worst team in the league, and he struggled. And he's going to be playing at Burnley, which it's no barrel of glass.
I think that's where he got in.
Yeah. And yeah, but I don't know, Sarib. I don't know if we desperately need to get one. Because if Robertson
are you not concerned about the extra tax on Joe Gomez now at right back maybe and left back?
Yeah, so I think it's probably going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think I am concerned, but it's one of them things like what can you do?
We know Joe Gomez's injury. Sorry to interrupt, but we know Joe Gomez's injury record, Ibu Konate's injury record. We are in very, very close. We are an injury away from a serious crisis.
That's what I'm saying. Centre back, innit? Like left centre back and left back who could play that in that role. Obviously, fans of the summer wanted Gavardio as an example, innit? He could play both of those type of roles. I will do that first. I'll definitely get someone in first.
And Nassio's available because we can then transition to that kind of what Robertson was playing early when Klopp moved Trent inverted, and Nassio playing that left centre back role, leaving the three there and letting Trent basically free roam. I think that could be a potential, and he's only got 60 million release clause. I think we'll get more clarity on that situation. But I know all the reporters are saying it's going to be a very, very quiet January for Liverpool. There's not much business, but I think Liverpool have been known to go into the market when there's an emergency. I think we did it with Gakpo. I think when Luis Diaz would be about to be signed by Tottenham, we did push summer plans early. So I would not be surprised if we get one in. I think one is the only thing we'll get. It's just the position where we'll get it now. I don't know about that.
One word answer. Do Liverpool bring anyone in at January? Shahab?
I think they do.
I'll take that as one word. Sarib?
Yeah, I think they do. Yes.
And a few more words from Sarib. Yes. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I thought Liverpool made a mistake. We've touched on it before. I've sort of, the manager has taken plenty of plaudits, Sarib, this season, making changes at the right time, at the right place. We've had options off the bench. Harvey Elliott has been leading things when it comes to those, making an impact off the bench. But I thought Liverpool, the game was so intense. I think Guardiola is known for this, isn't he? Where he hardly makes any subs. So how many times has he gone through a game without making a sub? And I thought it was one of those games. The game was so intense that I've not seen anything like it for a long, long time. Maybe when City came to Anfield a couple of seasons ago, the 2-2. Where that intensity was unbelievable. The quality and the physicality, the tackles flying in, the pressing, it was unbelievable. Maybe I was really low down and I really took that in. But I don't know. Everyone was talking about the quality of the game as well. So, I must have got the right feelings and the right vibe about the game. But I thought when maybe Diaz's substitution was, sort of forced upon the manager, but I thought Gravenberch came on, Elliott came on, in particular Gravenberch, where we lost control. It put Mo Salah up top, and it gave the ascendancy to Arsenal, and Arsenal fans are saying it became that sort of game because Rice went a lot deeper, started taking a lot more control with proceedings. Well, I thought Liverpool handed it to him rather than them grasping it, Sarib.
Yeah, I know Klopp's. We make quite a few subs in games in the season, and subs are like something that saves us the season. I remember Newcastle away, Luton away, Luis Diaz. That's ones I can remember top of my head. So we've been known to make substitutions that impact him. Harvey Elliott, Crystal Palace, how can I forget? But yesterday, Klopp just got really, really, really wrong. I thought Curtis Jones was really good, and I didn't think he should be coming off. I thought Szoboszlai was not great yesterday. I think if anyone was supposed to be coming off, I think it should have been him. I think moving Salah from the wing to...
Well, sorry, just to interject, sorry to interrupt, but do you think Curtis Jones came off because of the intensity? Do you think he was blown? Or do you think Klopp was thinking, you know what, I've got a game on Boxing Day as well?
I think it was a bit of that. I think
and Curtis Jones played against West Ham.
I think that would have been too many games in a row, and I think we're in a kind of a midfield crisis at the moment as well. So I don't think Klopp wants more injuries to that. I think our bench yesterday was, most of them were academy players, barring Elliot, Jerome Kwanzaa now, and someone else, Gravenberch. So I think it's becoming slowly an issue, but I think it was more to do within the game. I think Klopp made the wrong calls. The subs not necessarily. I think Elliot was the right sub. I just don't think it was for the right player. I think moving Salah into the middle when he was completely isolated against Zinchenko for the majority of the game. And I know we spoke about this. Zinchenko, I didn't see Zinchenko invert much in that match. I think it was completely, Trent was making the passes forward and Salah was just isolating him, and that's where we got a goal from as well. So to move Salah from the wing to up front where he's going to lose, like you said, an aerial battle against William, Sarib and Gabriel was really silly. Harvey Elliott has not got the pace. He's always going to come inside. He's going to try and find the little pocket. Always going to try and invert as well because he's not a winger. Mo Salah is an inside forward. He's always going to try look for the goal. And to move him central was the wrong decision from Klopp. I thought Szoboszlai was really poor in the match. I didn't think he was great.
I thought 45 to 70 he was decent.
Yeah, but in the last month, he's not been good, and I think
he had a poor first half.
Yeah, he was really poor. And there was one as well in the second half when I just wanted him to have a shot. And he didn't take the shot, and the shot was on for him, and he didn't take it on, and he had another shot where he just dragged it wide. It's just those moments that you're like, but no, I think Curtis Jones should have stayed on. I understand why he was taken off now, the way he put it up, because he's played too many minutes. Gravenberch was an absolute joke. I thought he was terrible. The ball was just bobbling off him. He couldn't do anything right. I think the Darwin Núñez substitution should have happened at halftime. Luis Diaz was non-existent in that second half. And the first half as well. That game was crying out for Darwin Núñez. So I think we made it clear earlier as well. Núñez has that physicality and that presence. And I remember he did Ben White with a little flick, and then he cut inside, and Ben White was just a bit bamboozled. And he cut in. I was like, well, Darwin Núñez has got a bit about me. I haven't seen Luis Diaz do that in months. And Darwin Núñez has done it in 5 minutes. He's been on the pitch. He's much better off the wing. Honestly, I think off the left-hand side, he looks really, really good. I don't think he's tasked to be that main focal point. I think he's got that kind of freedom to do what he likes with the ball and make those runs in behind and interchange with whoever. I can't remember who was on the pitch at the time. But yeah, I think the substitutions sucked the life out of the game, because I thought if anyone was going to get a goal in this closing stages, it wasn't going to be us. Sharp? By the way, sorry guys, I didn't mean to waffle on too much.
No, that's fine. I think, you know what? I think I agree with a lot with what Sarib says.
Cheers.
The Salah thing. The Salah thing, I agree. I think it was a poor one. I would say Gravenberch, that cameo was bad, but I think it was just like a bad day in the office for him. Like, you know, one thing that I read between Gravenberch when he played the games against United, Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, I don't remember, I think he played 2 out of those 3 games. The duels that he's won, Palace, and but even United as well. Right, he didn't win. Wasn't winning any duels. So I was keeping a close eye on that, because he lost his first 2 duels. I don't know if it was against Rice or Odegaard. It might have been both, and he didn't win it. And I think that's what he needed first, just to win those for duels, win those second balls, and then continue with the game. He's good in tight spaces. There was a lot of tight spaces. Rice is a very good footballer, but he just didn't do anything right. And I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say he's a bad day in the office. He hasn't had a preseason. He needs time. He's a young player. He's a very good player, but he was poor, man. He was just poor. With Harvey Elliott, I think obviously him moving towards that right-hand side, I think we're going to see a lot more of that in January. Obviously, when Salah's gone on to AFCON. I don't know. It could work, but I feel like when he's obviously drifts in a little bit more to the middle on that right-hand side, that's where you see the best in Harvey Elliott. I thought he had a decent-ish cameo. I think he's had a good cameo every time he's played this season. I think it's a big month for Harvey Elliott. I feel like even at times he probably was unlucky not to start on Saturday. But we know that the future what Harvey Elliott has. The one thing I could say about him though is his pace is a worry. I just don't think he's quick enough. I don't know how you can remediate that. Sorry, but I think that's probably another thing, which is another topic to talk about. But I think the last 20 wasn't great from us. But I think also from Arsenal as well, they managed the game well, but I don't think they were great in the last 20 either.
I want to ask you, Asim, because you was at the game. Game. Harvey Elliott. What do you think of Harvey Elliott? Because he reminds me a lot. Obviously, the levels are completely different. I'm not even going to make a comparison between the two players because there's chalk and cheese. He reminds me a lot of Bernardo Silva. And I think I don't know if it was you that said it to me, but he reminds me of Bernardo Silva. He's very good on the ball. He dribbles quite well with the ball, but he always goes inside. You never see Harvey Elliott go on the outside. How is it to watch him in person? Like, how is it? He plays in the pockets a bit too much.
Yeah, he plays in the pockets, the half spaces, but I really enjoyed his role. And I tweeted on Wednesday night that we're getting a snippet of what we're going to see when Salah goes to the AFCON, where he interchanged with Szoboszlai. I think that suits him. Why? Because both of them are comfortable in both, in positions where Szoboszlai can, if he's in the pocket, if he's in the right-sided midfielder role, then he can, Elliott can go and hug the touchline for a bit, even though he's going to come inside because Szoboszlai can go on the overlap, or Gomez, or who's the right back? Was it Conor Bradley on the night that can go on the overlap? So that dynamic, it really suits him. But when Salah's playing on Salah, but in terms of the sort of style that Salah brings, obviously we need the game to go through him. When I really like that sort of combination and that duo on Wednesday night. So yeah, Harvey Elliott, everyone's been saying he's been a brilliant player, but mainly off the bench, where maybe his level and physicality levels are where he can come off the bench and sort of impact games at the highest level in the Premier League. Maybe when everyone's dropped off after 60, 70 minutes. And maybe this is his development. This is his improvement. Bernardo Silva didn't come straight away and started, taking players on in the center of the field. I can remember Bernardo Silva probably being the best player, one of the best performances I've seen at Anfield. Talking of Saliba, this performance, Bernardo Silva's performance about 2 years ago in that 2-2 where we couldn't get near him. We could not get near him in the center of park. His sort of rotations in midfield, going this way and that way, carrying the ball, putting a foot in. He was unbelievable. And obviously he's got levels to reach. But, he's got age on his side. He's got the best mentor at the club in Salah. We saw that little clip of him going, doing the circles and doing the round, in midweek in Salah. But I don't think he's got the pace to go and be an out-and-out winger.
I know.
But to be a player on a sort of 4-4-2 sometimes coming, and it depends on your right back as well.
Yeah,
I think it's about creating that environment for him. All he can do is knock on the door at Liverpool and be a sort of have a role in this team where he can make an impact. If that means it's off the bench this season, then I'm happy with that. I'm happy with Cody Gakpo coming and doing a role off the bench. It's all about the squad. We know it's a long season, so many matches. And Harvey Elliott, for me, I'll be honest, he's surprised me to an extent this season with his, sort of level of performances, albeit off the bench. And if he keeps on getting a winner here and there, an assist here and there, that's all he can do. Because when he comes into the side and he starts, because it will happen over, the new year when Salah's off playing for Egypt, where he's got rhythm. And a Jurgen Klopp side, a Jurgen Klopp player needs rhythm. A player without rhythm, we've seen, many times just not at the races. So look, I'm happy with Harvey Elliott's development this season. Let's see how he is. Let's not maybe put the pressure on him of sort of trying to get him into a Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is one of the best players that Premier League has seen in terms of versatility and his adaptability in different formations and roles. If he becomes half as good as Bernardo Silva, I'll tell you what, he'll have a decent career.
Shahab?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, his cameras hasn't impressed me. I don't know whether that right wing role is going to be right for him. I think Klopp will go with him playing there when Salah's gone. Jota played there on the right last AFCON, and I didn't like it. I preferred it when it was left or in the middle.
Yeah.
But everything what you lot just said about Harvey Elliott is the same view that I have. He impresses me. He continues to do well. I think also the best thing I like about Harvey Elliott is I think last season the gap that he left in that middle was a learning process for him, and now he's managed to learn that probably because Obersley has helped him or Trent as well in that role. But he's learned that. But he's a young kid doing really well.
Yeah.
I just wish he was quicker, man. I mean, when I saw him at Fulham and Blackburn, he looked quicker. But
Mushab,
here,
do you think we play better football with Harvey Elliott in the team?
yeah, I do.
Keep the ball better. I think we keep the ball a lot better. He's very good on the ball, Harvey. I think that's very His passing range. I think he's pretty good on the ball. Very, very good. And he drives the ball quite well. I don't really see him have a loose touch or make a bad pass or his decision making. But I think that will come with experience. And I think he's a bit more cautious now because of that leg break that he had a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
definitely.
But no, definitely very, very good. And he's impressing me more and more. The more I see him play, the more I miss Harvey Elliott.
Talking about Harvey Elliott, yeah, go.
I was going to ask you two questions. What would you do with that right-hand side when Salah's gone? Is it Harvey or Zoboslai or? Ben Doric is out as well now. He's got an injury.
Jonathan Bakayoko.
Yeah.
Johan Bakayoko.
Look,
Jonathan, I meant Johan. Sorry.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think we'll have McAllister back, won't we, when Salah goes? Is that correct?
Hopefully,
he might miss a game or two, but in the I think in the mainstay, so he'll be back. So it depends if McAllister plays on the right hand side and he plays Szoboszlai on the left. Interchanging with Curtis from game to game. Do we see Trent coming into midfield? Do we see a change of system where we play a bit more of a 4-4-2?
4-2-3 as well.
4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1, I think is a formation on paper is good, but I think that 10 is very important. If you come up like an aggressive team like Arsenal, I think that 10 gets dragged into the midfield, and all of a sudden you get a 4-3-3. So a 4-2-3-1 depends on how you see it. It can easily be changed to a 4-4-2, but I think Liverpool have shown that they're adaptable this season, whether it's on and off the ball setups. We've seen 2-3-5s, 3-2, 4-2 build-ups. Maybe that's something for their tactics show. But I think if I had a choice, you got to answer your question, Shahab. It depends on the team. Just like Darwin Núñez, if you're gonna play with the high lines like Villa, I'd play Darwin Núñez. If it's someone,
I can tell you the teams we've got when Salah's not here, right?
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, right. So we've got a team like Chelsea at home,
and
then 5 days later Arsenal away. So what can we do?
I'd play Elliott in midfield on the right hand side against Chelsea. I'd play Szoboszlai in midfield against Arsenal when you need a bit more physicality.
Asim, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Didn't Elliott play on the right when we drew that boring ass game against Chelsea last season? 0-0.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I don't think he's a winger.
Yeah. But we've got no lack of options, right? So
I think if it was quicker, yes. I think that's a different conversation. But he just doesn't have the pace to beat a defender. And that's what annoys me about it. He always goes inside, like I said, and he never goes on the outside. He always tries to play in the pockets or make a pass into someone that's obviously a bit more quicker and a bit more dangerous. But he is improving, and I'm not going to say he can't play on the wing because he played really well on the wing against West Ham. So it's just I want to see him doing a more consistent basis. And I think he's going to get the opportunity to do that at Liverpool. Maybe not. But I think if there's going to be another opportunity, Harvey Elliott on the wing, I think it will be when Salah's gone to the AFCON. Yeah. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out very soon as well.
Yeah, but I like that fluidity which I saw at West Ham between Szoboszlai, and it made Szoboszlai express himself a bit more as well. We saw the first goal was an unbelievable strike. Fans have been, complaining that we need to get Szoboszlai outside the box in more advanced areas, and I think Harvey Elliott, he lets others play as well. And I think that's his beauty as well. He keeps the ball, he keeps it moving, he recycles ball, and he's a brilliant presser and harasses the opposition as well. And he's that type of player where you might not see the output in terms of, goals and assists, but he's one of those, team members where a lot of other teammates appreciate him because of what the job he does. And I think every great team, whether you're the finished article or in transition at Liverpool, are in at the moment, every team needs that sort of player. So let's see how his development, plays out in the next year or so. But talking of Harvey Elliott, talking of players coming in, going out, we've got, I can't say it's a banana skin. It's but judging by Luton away, anything's a banana skin for Liverpool away from home. But it's Burnley, Shahab. Do you see Liverpool and Klopp making a few changes? Do you see someone like Jarell Kwanzaa coming into the team and managing someone like Ibu? Because we've got another big day. I think it's 5 days later against Newcastle.
I don't know if he'll make loads of changes. I think maybe 2. The reason I say that is because we've got a game. Check my days. We've got a game Tuesday and then Monday, I think, against Newcastle. Yeah.
Is it New Year's Day or
second?
New Year's Day, yeah. Before everyone else plays that game week. I don't know if Jarell Kwanzaa will come in. I think the back 5 will be the back 5 that we entered the game on yesterday. It's a tough one. I think he probably will have to make two, 3 changes. Obviously, we don't know how long Diaz is going to be out for and everything. I'll answer that in a second. I think maybe 2, 3 changes. I think Burnley will be a tough game for us. And I think people say, but Tottenham have scored 5 and Chelsea scored 5 and blah blah blah. But so they just come back and beating Fulham, who were smacking teams for 5 as well. So they're in good form. Boxing Day, I still remember that time, that famous one of my favorite ever winners, Clavan. I don't know if you guys remember him.
I remember when
Burnley. I think it was New Year's Day as well. It was class.
I remember.
It was raining. Listen, I've been to Turf Moor before. Asim, I'm sure you've been there a few times. It's not a nice place to go. It's cold, pissing down, raining.
Like a Stoke away, isn't it?
Honestly, it is like that. They're both different in their own unique way. So I think it will be a difficult game. We just got to grind out and just get the win. That's all I'm worried about. I don't think it'll be plain sailing. Yeah.
Sarib Shahab says grind out a win. Or would you like to see a bit more of a response? I say it's a response because we dropped 2 points against Arsenal, albeit the league leaders. But before you go into that, Sully asks a new question, just to wrap up things regarding Liverpool and Arsenal. Who is going to win the league, lads? I'll go first and I'll pick Liverpool. Sarib, who's
Aston
in
Villa.
the league?
Aston Villa.
Oh, shut up. You had enough people. You had enough Arsenal fans in your DMs this weekend. You don't want the Villa fans in your DMs trolling.
I'll be honest with you.
Be honest.
I think Arsenal are going to do it this year, man. I think Arsenal.
Cities are. I think. Or how
I was saying City until they played us.
If they win, their game in hand, only 3 points behind Sarib.
Yeah, but Arsenal have to go to the Etihad. I don't know. Now, see, you give me more information, and I think twice.
That's what I'm here to do.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope if it's not us, I hope it's Aston Villa. But I'm gonna stick with. I will stick with Arsenal.
Shahab, still City to lose. Atik says.
Well, he is right in a way.
How can it be City to lose and they're 4 points behind? 5 points. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it is because obviously they've got to go play Arsenal and Villa and okay, fair enough. They have to come to our place as well. I think De Bruyne coming back is a huge plus for them. I don't know how long Rodri's out. I don't think Everton away, which is their next game, is going to be any plain sailing for them. I'll tell you, in the last 2, 3, 4 years, it would have been. But yeah, Arsenal.
Saturday, have you got an Arsenal shirt behind that sofa?
No, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to be honest. I've got a soft spot for Arsenal because I really like them. As they got a young coach, they've built a team in the lot, like similar to what Klopp did. He built a team over a period of time, then added the big money signings in, and they just to elevate that team, and that's what Mikel Arteta has done. And I think if any fan base deserves some sort of a good period after the period Arsenal have had the last 20 years, I think it's them. I think we had 30 years of being really bad. I think they've had 20 years. I think they're tired too. I think that's the only reason and they used to show me a lot of love on my GNF videos. I think that's why it grew.
Sorry. Let's be real. Yeah, we're both from London, right? Yeah, we've got a lot of Arsenal fans. Yeah, I like the Arsenal team.
Are you getting influenced, lads?
Yeah, listen, not by me. Them not there talk too much. Sorry, let's be real. We know I know what you're like. Yeah, as a Londoner, like me. Yeah, them Arsenal fans, they are crazy. They're wild. You know what it is? I think they can win the league, but the answer to the question is I think City will do it with De Bruyne's return. That's boring, but I think they'll do it.
De Bruyne with the new haircut will do it then, yeah?
But just to stay consistent, why do you think Kevin De Bruyne is going to come back and be the same player at 31?
No, but just like as a tactical point of view, like him feeding behind Haaland, it makes sense. I think Alvarez has done a fantastic job, but
winning the league 4 years in a row I don't think it's ever happened. 3 in a row has happened.
I don't think
it's ever happened, especially not in the Premier League era. If you're asking Man City to go and win the league 4 years in a row, that's already stupid. Not calling you stupid. I think that's like as in winning 4 league titles in a row is silly. I don't know. I think it's come to a point that everyone expects it to happen. That I don't think they're going to do it. I think everyone expects them, they're going to go in a little dip and then they're going to rise in 15 wins in a row to the league. I think now the expectations for him to do that. And I think when City have expectations, I don't think they do very, very well. I think they expected to win the league every year, but they also expected to win the Champions League every year as well. And they only did it last season. So I don't know.
Arsenal have done very, very well. I know someone is an Arsenal fan. I know they lost to Villa and Newcastle. The Newcastle one was a bit of a dodgy one as well. Their results that they picked up this season, I still think they played better last season, and they are going to get better this season, and they could make some signings. You know, we've talked about Tony and Asim, and listen, Arsenal have got that money to spend, man. Not many people talk about it, but they do. But they have done fantastic. It does feel like, in a way, that is
the Kroenke out protests. Where have they gone?
No, I think
Sully, can you tell us, if you're still in the building, Sully, tell me where those protests have gone. What was that chant? I can't even remember.
We want Kroenke out. Say we want Kroenke out.
Yeah, Sarib knows the chance as well. You're not doing yourself any favors here, Sarib.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Let's go before we wrap up. A score prediction for Burnley, lads. Sarib, I'll start with you.
Cheeky 2-1. No, 2-0. Clean sheet. I don't think our defense has been pretty solid the last couple of weeks, and I give them credit. As soon as Endo's been moved into that defensive midfield role, we're not conceding many goals, and I do like it, to be honest. So I'm going to stick. I think Virgil van Dijk and Konate only have conceded 3 shots on target at home this season as a pair. Says enough. And I think Konate is not going to play against Burnley. I don't think so. But we've got the baby Virgil van Dijk and Van Dijk together. So I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. 2-0. 2-0. Salah. I want to say Darwin Núñez so bad. Darwin Núñez.
I think Darwin Núñez will bag.
Yes.
Shahab, prediction?
Listen, I don't think it'll be an easy game, although it should be. So I want to say 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. Yeah, I'll take a win. I think we need a win. It's been a while. Even those Palace and Sheffield United. I think we need a performance. I think we need a performance.
Yeah.
Maybe any type of win won't be a statement type of performance because it's Burnley at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm feeling one. I think if we win, Sully won't like this, even though Arsenal gonna have a game in hand. We might have that top of the league chant for about a few hours. I don't know when Arsenal play, but I think we play before them, don't we? So maybe we can go top of the league, put a bit of pressure on. I don't think West Ham are getting any sort of result.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sure?
Jared Bowen's on fire, man. Kudus as well.
Ahmed Kudos, yeah.
Is Antonio fit?
They don't even play with Antonio anyway. They play with the false nine.
He's not fit now.
I know, but I just think they look a bit. I know Bowen's a better finisher. They're a lot more of a goal threat. But I think you need someone to hold the ball up.
We didn't see that. I mean, I watched the game against United. They did struggle to hold it up.
Yeah, I think Gabriel and Saliba are going to have a field day. If they're getting behind, they're slightly a bit more open, aren't they? West Ham. David Moyes is trying to play football out here.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to watch. It's nice to see the manager adapt to the right way of playing now.
Yeah. Sleepy Forest asks, do you guys think we train attacking patterns at all in training? It doesn't look like.
I asked that question too.
But it's been talked about a bit recently as well. We've talked about it, that the connections between our, I think Liverpool fans have been spoiled by the fact that we've had Bobby, Salah, and Mane for years, and I was probably, for me, one of the best trio in world football and in Premier League history. So I think when you replace them players, you have to have a bit of patience. And Darwin Núñez, a transition player, more or less. Diaz, very direct as well. So there's a lot of individual quality traits in there, but it's going to take a bit of time. And maybe Gakpo was that sort of glue to put everyone together. But it's not easy when Gakpo plays a couple of games and Darwin Núñez comes and plays in a few games and goes out of the team. But I think Klopp really wants Darwin in the team. I really believe so. He really believes in this player and what he gives us. Even when he's just being on the pitch, he pushes defenses 5 yards, further back.
I think he fancies him.
Yeah, he's a good-looking lad, isn't he?
Klopp said he's a good-looking boy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a good-looking lad. But I think you have to be honest. Like I think Gary Neville was talking about Arsenal's top three. where they don't really connect. I know Jesus is supposed to be that catalyst in the center on the halfway line, and with Martinelli and Saka making those diagonal runs. But even them, I think Gary Neville was saying, they don't really connect as much. So maybe those days of Bobby and Sane,
this guy's connection. He's talking about connection, and in his connection goes. He talks about the connection. Where's our connection? Where's the Asim, Shahab, and Sarib connection? Asim, you can't even stay here for 2 minutes, mate.
But no, you got community fibre back there in Keighley, man. But
Shahab, like, at this moment, like that, on that comment about the attacking patterns of play, who is Liverpool's best fit and available? Everyone firing. Who is Liverpool's best front three? So they'll all be available at one point. Out of the three, you got to pick three of them. Salah, obviously. Who's the two other ones?
Salah. I think Nunez up front. I still believe that.
Still?
Yeah, I still believe that. On the left, and the last time I say Jota, I think with Jota, the way it goes in his song, cutting inside on the left, just that knack of goal, the fact that he scores a goal, one of our best finishes, and then obviously Nunez in behind, the link-up play with Salah, I think is a dangerous front three. But pre-Diaz injury, I'd go Diaz, Nunez, and Salah. But answer to your question, because it's now Jota, Nunez, Salah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm stuck between Jota, Gakpo, Salah, Nunez, Jota, Salah. I'm stuck. It's a toss-up for me because I really like Cody Gakpo. I really think he can connect the attack very, very well. I do like the attack of Gakpo, Nunez, and Salah. I think that kind of Gakpo false nine in that kind of where Nunez off the left, them two interchanging the Gakners or whatever you. I really like it. We saw it against United; it was really good. But Jota, whenever he plays, man, he delivers something, man. Even when he plays bad, he just.
We need Jota, man.
That game against United.
We missed a player in the last month or so is Diogo Jota.
He's unreliable. He gets an injury around this time.
No, that's fine. I can accept that, but we missed him badly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Badly.
I asked Shahab this question, Asim.
Yeah.
We have to pick 5 out of the 3 to start fit and firing all of them. Salah's the right-hand player.
3 out of 5, you mean? 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, sorry. No, 2, because Salah's already going to...
Oh, yeah, of course.
So who's the other 2?
It doesn't, regardless of the opposition.
I'm talking about their best for the front 3.
And Robert's playing as well.
Everyone fit and available.
Everyone fit. This is... I like Darwin Núñez in the team because I think we look a better team.
You see, I said that as well.
I think we look a better team with Darwin in it. And I think he's going to start bagging. Yeah, he hasn't scored in 2 months, wherever it is. And it's not good enough. But he's a chance magnet, Sarib. And the ball follows him. His world-class movement. Yes, he needs to have, a lot more composure in front of goal. But I think I'd be a lot more worried if he's not involved in the game. And I know you hear that a lot. Maybe sometimes it's a bit of an excuse for strikers. But I think this guy will be all right. Honestly, I think he'll be all right. Which leaves me on the left-hand side. Look, I'm worried about Diaz now. I tweeted today, actually, that maybe Liverpool need to address this left-wing option, this 1v1 ability. Pep Guardiola addressed it with Grealish having a really good season. They won the treble with him being a really good part of the team. Mahrez went because although I had question marks about Mahrez's capabilities at the highest levels on the big day, even though it got better later on in his career, but he replaced his 1v1 ability. And now that you can't deny that Mahrez was really, really good at taking on his marker. And, he bought in Doku. And I think Liverpool need to show that sort of ruthlessness if Diaz doesn't produce from now until the end of the season. And if it's a case, because we've been talking about Mane and Salah earlier on the show, and we've always mentioned them because they were the benchmark for 1v1 sort of ability of taking on and dropping a shoulder. But out of that 5, and I've called this 5 the best 5 in the world as a collective.
Yeah.
But we don't have that ability. Salah is Salah, but let's be honest, he's lost a half a yard, not even half a yard, a yard or two, but he's still world class. But he's a different type of player in terms of he's coming inside a lot. He doesn't go on the outside of a lot. Diaz has stopped going on the outside. Gakpo, I believe, doesn't go on the outside. Jota is a lot more direct and through the middle, and Nunes is a lot more direct. But we don't have that 1v1, and I want Liverpool to go find that ability, because in particular against low blocks, this is a quality that it sort of tears up the opposition's plan. If you've got a guy who comfortably can take on a player in tight spaces and in very sort of open spaces, when you're sort of isolating the right back and the left back, then you're going to get in behind defenses a lot more. And until we bring that player back, whether it's Diaz, finding his form, finding the old Luis Diaz again, or we go and dip into the market in the summer, then I believe this team won't be the finished article. There are other deficiencies in the team we've all talked about, for months, but I think that is an area that Liverpool need to look at.
Guess we'll hope and find out by the end of January window, innit?
Yeah, so we will find out. We will find out. Okay, I think 1 hour 30 minutes, brilliant. I think it needed that. A bit of therapy for Liverpool fans. If you're downbeat after 2 draws, don't be so, because this was always going to be a marathon. And the mad one is still very much on. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for taking part in the comments as ever, Shahab. Thank you very much, Sarib.
Thanks,
you don't need a thank you anymore. You're part of the furniture, just like that black sofa, just like that Arsenal, just like that Arsenal shirt hiding behind it as well.
There is no Arsenal shirt behind me, man.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys, and enjoy the festive period. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye now.